Joe, you have to unmute yourself.
There we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Positive Living Center, brought to you by Zoom Productions. We are here again on a fabulous Sunday, a fabulous holiday, Memorial Day weekend. It's wonderful to see you all again. Any newcomers that are here today, welcome. You found us. Congratulations. I hope you come back. Our themes this month, this is the last weekend in May. Themes are healing is knowing the truth. Spiritual man and woman is already healed, and releasing the negative. I'm thinking about Memorial Day and what those before us meant to us for our freedom and to maintain the freedom of this glorious, glorious country we live in. We're so blessed to have this opportunity to be together as is our right. So it's time for meditation. I'd like for you all to take some deep breaths with me. Let everything go. Let all your responsibilities and all that you have planned just go for now and be with us. Be within yourself to enjoy this time of peace. Let us remember this holiday weekend to honor and thank those before us, our ancestors, our military, and all those who gave us liberty and freedom, and especially love. We're so blessed to be here today together and honoring this Memorial Weekend. And so it is. Thank you, John. That was wonderful. That was lovely. I really appreciated that background. Very nice. It's time for a spiritual thought. And my pleasure to introduce our speaker for our spiritual thought, Reverend Missy Higginbotham. Good morning, Missy.
Good morning, Joe. I wanted to talk on truth today. Back in 1992, I was like 4 years into my conscious spiritual journey. I was up in Ohio and I was getting ordained into an interfaith church. And it was interesting enough, which I just had remembered yesterday, it was called the Temple of Truth Foundation. And I thought, oh my God, it's called Temple of Truth. And and it was over at a friend of mine's house. And as I was walking down the hallway to this dais, I was having this inner, I guess you would call it initiation, and I was in a meditative state. And during this meditative state, I was being handed this sword, this crystal sword, and I was being told this was the sword of truth. So after this initiation, after this ordination, because ordinations are our initiation, they're rites of passage. And I started having dreams about what truth was all about, that it's about being true to the core of who you really are. And I was having dreams about integrity, dreams about the impeccability of your word, about your authentic self. And then again, in 1999, I had another dream, and I was again given a sword of truth. And this time I started having all these books fall into my lap about the Grail, the Holy Grail. And Holy Grail is a metaphor for Christ consciousness. So I started chasing after, okay, what is the Grail all about, and the cup of Christ consciousness and the quest. I really love this is my quest to follow that star, from Mana La Mancha, no matter how hard it is, that you had to follow your own path of truth. And I can remember when I was up in North Dakota on an Air Force base doing liturgical Lutheran service, and I called myself a Grail carrier, as I had to give the priest the communion cup, and that this was the cup of Christ consciousness. And I can remember, instead of saying this is the blood and body, I can remember saying this is the cup of Christ consciousness, and the startled look on his face. And it's interesting how there's these outer metaphors, these outer symbols that we seem to chase after when we're looking for truth. But the symbol truth seemed to be, for me, aligned with Christ consciousness and the truth of who I really was. And then in 2019, Angie gives me a call and he says, Missy, he says, there's this book called I Am the Word. And he says, have you read it? And I said, well, no, Angie, I haven't. And so, of course, then I went on to Amazon and got the book and started reading it. And there's Paul Selig has written these books, and book 5 is called The Book of Truth. And what I liked about this, I read it, and then I started working on these truth statements. And these truth statements have to do with, I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. Because when you align yourself with truth and you speak your word with an impeccable sense of truth, knowing that you are truth, that is, you're releasing the negative, and you're understanding that you are the spiritual human already healed, and you've become going to the sense of wholeness and healing of knowing the truth. But all of a sudden I have this knowingness that I know who I am in truth. Now, what is the who I know? Well, I understood all of a sudden that, the first step of spiritual mind treatment is there is only God. Right? God was there in the beginning, so God had to make us out of itself. So therefore, I know who I am in truth. I am God's stuff. So therefore, I know who I am in truth. When I speak that, I am saying I am the first step of spiritual mind treatment. God is. And then I know what I am in truth. Unification, right? The first step is recognition that only God is. The second step is unification. I know what I am in truth. The word made flesh. God came into me, breathed life into me. I have that God spark. Therefore, the second step of spiritual mind treatment is I know what I am in truth. And then I know how I serve in truth. I step into realization and I know I am the prayer and the prayer itself. I know what I know how, I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. So therefore, in truth, I become the thing itself. I become the prayer and the prayer. And therefore, when I become it itself, I am free. Because then in that step into realization, into knowing the truth, the negative is gone. Everything releases. And what happens then is that I'm no longer searching for outer symbols of truth. And in that knowingness, all of a sudden, I went back to the book of truth and it opened. Now what you are, the divine as you is always in truth. The divine does not hold a lie. Now the current of truth in all ways claims a path for you because what you see is not in illusion. And who you see is as they truly are, as what they are, the manifested divine. So when I look out from that core of truth in me, the authentic self, you are divine. There's nothing else I can see, you see, because then I see with the eyes of the Christ, because there can be no other. The divine self is in truth, can only be in truth, and can consequently can only claim in accordance with this. And what really got me was this: we are working with the vibration of truth and the sword of truth, if you wish. You see, all of a sudden I realized that in the New Testament, when it says the Master Jesus comes as the sword of truth, that's the vibration of truth. Because the sword of truth is the metaphor for cutting away all illusion. So when we align ourselves with the vibration of truth, which is step 1, 2, and 3 of treatment, and become the prayer itself, then illusion cannot help but fade away. So what is our mission in life? It's just to be truth. It's to be not the truth with a small t. You know, the little white lies, the fibs, those is what puts gray. Those are the shades of gray that turns, and that actually appears in our energy fields. We need to be the true blue. We need to align ourselves with the vibration of truth, because when you claim I am truth, when you claim I am truth, then everything else fades away. Everything else fades away. And we can stand and radiate that vibration. And that's our mission. It's just to be the truth, which is truth itself. It's the divine in form. It's God is, I am. And in that knowing of I am, then I know. So in this moment, I claim for you all, I know who you are in truth. I know what you are in truth. I know how you serve in truth. You are free, you are free, you are free. And in this moment, I see you in the upper octave of consciousness. And I see you with the eyes of Christ, and I say, behold, I make all things new, because it can be no other. God is. God is in this moment. God is for you, God is for me, God is for all creation. And that's the truth.
Thank you so much, Reverend Missy. That was beautiful. Wow. It just reminds us all of who we truly are and what we are. Thank you for those words. Beautiful. Beautiful. I would like to ask Mr. John Lalonde to give us some music at this time. Good morning, John. Why don't you take yourself off mute, John? I'm not getting any volume from you. There you are. There you are.
Okay, you can. All right, good. I am going to play a song that is loosely based on a Mary Youngblood song. It is entitled Beneath the Raven Moon. And before I start, we've got a raven and we've got a moon on our screens. It's just so synchronistic.
Yes, yes. John, that was wonderful. Thank you. God, that was so serene. Wow. That music was as serene as Reverend Missy's talk. It's beautiful, just beautiful.
Thank you,
Very
John.
nice. Thank you for your time and your gift, John. Well, it's my honor to introduce our speaker for today. She is just recently an ordained minister, Reverend Lujuana.
Thank you, Joe Bull. I'm laughing because Joey says I'm ordained, and I said in the weekly email that I send out, I said that I was, let's see, certificated. Neither one of those is correct. But I did remember after I wrote certificated, I did remember that I'm freshly credentialed. That's the word. So, oh my gosh, being human and having all these things to do, it's just an exciting world, isn't it? Oh goodness. So, I would like to start off by saying, I just love you. I just love you. I'm so grateful for this community. I'm so grateful for each one of your bright souls. The feeling tone that I get to experience in this community it's just higher and deeper than anything I get to experience all by my lonesome. And I'm so grateful for you. Now, there may be a day that in my lonesome, I'm going to have something more, but I just want you to know that the collective of us is felt so deeply, so appreciated. John, that music was amazing. Oh, it feels like so long ago that on a Sunday before a Memorial Day like this, I was sharing where Memorial Day came from, that it was a Decoration Day and it was following the Civil War. And I remember David, and see, life is moving on with David getting closer to being in Australia. David was letting us know that in Decoration Day, they would put flowers, poppies, red poppies, and they would put flags out for those military men and women who had passed in the line of service. And one of the things that was notated on the internet as I was reflecting on what I had said previously was that this isn't a day to thank our veterans. This is a day to remember. This is a day to remember those who have passed. And as we remember the people who passed in military service, how can we not remember the people who we've loved and cherished who have also gone on and passed and transitioned? So peace be still for all of us as we reminisce this Memorial Day weekend. I want to say some thank yous for our speakers this last month. I don't know if you may not know about what's been going on in my life, but I always feel like anything that is happening in my life is right here, that there's a little beeping neon sign and it's telling everyone what's going on with me. That I'm an open book. And so you can feel it. It may not be completely understood, but it's here, it's present, and it's felt. So I want to thank you because Brenda, Judy, Jenny, Joe, and even earlier in the month, and Reverend Sandy, always, the truth and the love that's been coming forth, it's been carrying me a little bit. Most recently, these beautiful spring days have been filled to the brim for me. Big changes at work, plenty of work to do, more work than time in the day. It's been, some of the descriptors that we've all felt before. I'm going to just say them: stressful, challenging, overwhelming, tiring, and even at times difficult. I've felt every one of these. And yet, I also have felt grateful for the support that I received through this entire process. I have felt appreciation for my colleague, my office mate that I've worked with 19 years, not only for the friendship and the teamwork, but just knowing we're not alone in this. This isn't just something that we're alone in. And I've also want to acknowledge who doesn't go through major changes. We all go through major changes. I've also felt gratitude. I've also felt gratitude that even though I don't learn as fast as I used to learn, I can still learn. And I'm so excited about that. And who hasn't noticed the changes that occur as we travel on Mother Earth through time and space? We all go through transitions. Our world is going through and growing through so much significant change. Transitions in this age of Aquarius. What can we know? That source that Missy was referring to, that I am, God is, I am, that she was so beautifully expressing. We've got this. With Source, we've got this. We're here at this time, we've got this. Lots of change going on, we've got this. Joel Goldsmith, he wrote in one of his books, The Importance of Not Being So Active with Life's Comings and Goings, as it will take away from one's spiritual work. I'm reminded of that as I'm going through so much busyness. I'm not sure if it's true, but I'm paying attention. And I can say the added excitement because of what's been occurring for me has me a little more amplified and maybe a little less tuned in. But it doesn't stop me from going to the well. It doesn't stop me from taking that step to tune in. And I'm grateful for that. And even if it doesn't feel that I'm going as deep or as high as I have, I can still tune in. I can tune in because I know that God is in God's fullness always. So I can tune in. Then I find a reading like this. Definitely, I know that every negative condition of the past is cleared away from my consciousness. I no longer think about it, see it, and believe it. Nor do I believe that it has any effect whatsoever in my experience. Yesterday is not. Tomorrow is not. But today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. Today, I live. Ernest Holmes. And isn't that the way, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So isn't that the way, in the midst of the personal story, reliving yesterday's feelings, and a master reminds us, today I live. I'm so excited. Today I live. Watch out, Joe. Today I live. Just kidding. Okay. Again, as Missy was saying, we are always plugged into source, or maybe more accurately, source is forever giving of itself to and through us, through all of life. The flow of spiritual substance is constant and never withholds from us. This is true even when it doesn't feel like it, even when I'm asleep in it, even when I feel like I'm suffering or in pain, even when I might even feel abandoned. It's still true. If it were not true, prayer wouldn't work, and prayer works. Prayer works because the gift is always being given of life itself. Today I live. Long before Joe and I moved here, there was a Sunday that I came up to see Reverend Angelo, but I wasn't alone. I came up, I believe I was with Reverend Doty. And we came up to the PLC when it was across from the nursery. And on that day, on that Sunday service that we sat in on, there was a guest speaker, and it was Sensei Angelo. I'm hoping you'll help me, unmute and help me. He may have written a book about slaying one's dragons. Let's call him Sensei. I wish I could remember his name. I know, if someone said it, I'd probably say, oh, that's it. But the point is his talk was a great, great reminder that spirit is always giving forth spirit, always giving forth that one energy, always giving it forth, and that it is the order and the flow of spirit that we have a participatory experience in its direction. That one energy, and we have that participatory in its direction. And that by our repeated attention, we shape our experiences vastly, uniquely, and still that one beautiful energy. Love is within us. It cannot be destroyed. It can be ignored. To the extent that we abandon love, we will feel it has abandoned us. Denying love is our only problem, and embracing it is the only answer. Through the power of love, we can let go of past history and begin again. Love heals, forgives, and makes whole. Ernest Holmes. Joe and I, for quite a while now, we get a big, big kick out of what I call the opportunity shows. There's so many of them where young people are given the chance to stretch their wings and to fly and to follow their heart's desires. Just recently, we were watching The Voice. And are there any The Voice watchers out there? Woohoo! The winner was a 19-year-old young man, a Black man named Cam Anthony. Beautiful, beautiful smile, amazing talent. His coach, Blake Shelton, said about him The only thing bigger than Cam's talent is his heart and his mind. On the show, Cam read this. Now I will share, it is a little long, but it is worth the hearing. Napoleon Hill said, "What your mind can conceive and believe, your mind can achieve." Again, he's 19 years old. Back to what he was reading. So people, all people, I dedicate this idea in the song to the visionary in you. I often imagine this idea and wonder if we already possess everything we need to accomplish a life and existence that is balanced and equal for all mankind. I feel that we can clear this great hurdle, but first we have to see it. A world where peace, love, and equality for all are at the foundation of our existence. A vision that is inclusive of everything and everyone, no matter what race, religion, age, gender, sexual orientation, body type, fine hair, or kinky locks. Imagine being free of societal pressures to be what someone else expects of us, expects us to be. I dedicate this song to the idea that faith and love can guide us all. And with that, I'll take the first step by standing up and taking my people with me. Everyone who can see the vision, come with me. And together we'll cross this river of change into a world of freedom. Can you hear it calling? We can no longer operate beneath our capabilities, but from our fullest potential. And spending time alone during the quarantine has caused me to examine and cast out my dark spaces and realize that the joy, love, and happiness that meant so much to me could roam free. But first I had to embrace it. It was time for me to let go of the fear and lean on my faith. And so that meant following and flowing with and not against my purpose. Standing up for things I believe in, peace and love. Wow. Anybody else feeling a wow on that one? Wow. That young man really moved Joe and I that night. And a couple things really came to me, and that is how many communities there are like ours where these teachings are out there. Because I really felt science of mind principle and love. And this community that we are in, I felt this community in what he shared. I thought, how magnificent, how beautiful. And he reminds me too that in the understanding that has come to me in all these years of study and journeying, and I know that each of us has this own flow that we participate in. Joe has his flow of his learning and where it sends him and takes him. And he reminds me that where I have been drawn, what has been awakening in me is this total awareness that every chakra is a spinning energy center, and it's also pure spirit. And we are imbued and endowed and sustained in pure spirit. And it shows up so beautifully in our salt of the earth human experiences. Salt of the earth human experiences. I am so grateful for how spirit shows up as each of us, now and always. We truly are one, and so it is.
And so it is. Beautiful, Reverend. That was wonderful. Thank you for those words. Thank you for telling us that story about that 19-year-old young man having that kind of vision and having God take control of his emotions and God leading him. As Lujuana said, we lean on spirit, we lean on faith to get us through, and we can do anything with God, always. It's just beautiful. It's time for our offertory. And would you please do the offertory prayer with me? Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Thank you. Thank you. And I think everyone here knows the methods that you can donate toward the taking care of the church financially. We continue to thank you for your offerings every month. We're doing well, and we just want to thank you for all that you do, not only so far as monetarily, but your service to our beautiful sanctuary, and helping us be prepared for the day we go back. And we will be back in that sanctuary someday. So thank you for that. Do we have any announcements this morning? Vivian, why don't you unmute yourself? Unmute yourself.
Doing it, working on it.
There you are.
You were talking about Memorial Day. Has any of you, or have any of you ever gone up to the little church on the hill and seen the flags? They put up the flags on Memorial morning, and they're always asking for help to do it. I think they start at 7 or 7:30, and then they have a service there, and then the rifle group and announcements are at 4 different cemeteries up here, 2 of the American Indian cemeteries and 2 at the other cemeteries up here. And so I guess they have lunch about 1, and then they go to North Fork and do a service there.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you. Other announcements? Nobody else?
I just want to,
Reverend Lujuana?
I just want to ask, because Melissa, are you the one that was new last week at Reverend Judy's house?
Yes, I was.
I wanted to just ask just a little bit about how was it? Remind me, how was it that you came to be with us on Sunday?
Yeah, so I've actually known about you guys for a couple months, but I get real anxious about joining church groups and things like that. And so I just felt this deep calling from God that was, because I live right around the corner from you guys, from your building. And I've walked by you guys tons of times, and that's when I looked you guys up. And that morning I was like, I just got this message, you have to go. And the message was also like, you have to walk there. And I was so grateful that we did, because walking felt so good. And then getting to be a part of this community was so inspiring. I'll try to come back every Sunday that I can. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Melissa, for sharing that. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Any other announcements?
It's nice to have another Melissa in the crowd.
Yes, yes. We always have room for more Melissas. That's beautiful. Next week's speaker is Reverend Sandy West. Looking forward to hearing Reverend Sandy give us her talk, as always. Our prayer partner today is Reverend Missy. So please get a hold of her if you have any prayer requests today. And if you have prayer requests in general for yourself or other people, please feel free to contact me. I will put that out to the prayer group if that's what you would like for me to do. And I'm always available to you as well. Let's do the prayer of protection, shall we? And I'll guide us through this. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God,
God protects me.
The
presence
presence
of God
God watches
over
over
me.
me.
the
The energy of
God is me. Wherever
Wherever
I
I
am,
am,
God
God
is,
is,
and
all
all is
well.
well.
Thank you so much for that. Reverend Sandy, would you give us a closing prayer, please?
Oh, I'd love to. We have such a glorious spiritual family here. And every week as we come together, it fills me with light and love and sound and joy and sharing. It fills me with community, with a sense of tribe. And this is so important in these days with all that's going on. Have a place of belonging, a place of home, a place where we can all show up and be who and what we need to be. The world is such a better place for each and every one of us as we smile and share and care. It is important that we're here, important that we share, important that we show up. And in knowing all of this, I give such grateful thanks for the hearts that are ours, that come together in unity, a heart that mirrors and reflects the divine within us. And I'm so wonderfully thankful for all that we are, all that we're becoming, all that we're sharing, and for this world that we live in. And I give such glorious thanks for that which is yours. And so with me, please.
And so it is.
Ah,
Thank you all for being here today with us. Look forward to seeing you each and every Sunday. I hope you have a marvelous holiday and a fabulous week ahead. God bless you all. Bye now.
Love y'all. Have a good one.